Hello, and welcome to the Story Behind the Story. I am author Reese Ryan, and this is where authors and romance readers and romance authors connect. And so today we're going to be talking about a fun topic of, some of the elements that create a fun and engaging reader event. Reader events are something that I honestly didn't participate in a lot most of my career as a writer, and it wasn't until like just a few years ago where I really started attending these reader conferences and just absolutely loving them. And so I was devastated that I had to cancel several events last year because of COVID. They were canceled because of COVID and stuff. So um, but the great thing that has happened in terms of the pandemic when it comes to reader conferences is that the online conferences have become huge. And so there's some everywhere all the time. There seems like there's several a week. But there's if for those of us who've been to them, there may be some that you went to that you really enjoyed, and there may be others that you didn't enjoy as much. And so we're going to talk about the elements that go into making a reader conference or event that's really fun and amazing and memorable. And my guest today is going to be Naleighna Kai. So we're going to talk to her in just a minute. But first, if you are new here, welcome. I ask that if you want to be a part of more conversations with readers and authors, hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoy the show, make sure you hit the like button and to hit the share button. And that way you'll also know about upcoming shows that I have. For instance, in 2 weeks on June the 16th, I'm super excited that I will be talking to several of the Kamani authors are going to be joining me for a chat. And so we're going to be catching up with them and what they're doing. Sherelle Green, Elle Wright, just Nikki Knight, Zuri Day, just so many of them are going to come and they're going to chat with me in 2 weeks. So make sure you subscribe so that you'll know when that happens. And then the future shows include Zio Axelrod, author of The Girl with the Stars in Her Eyes. We're going to be talking on July 7th. On July 21st, I'll be chatting with the authors of Harlequin Desire. And then on the 4th, I'll be talking with two specific authors of Harlequin Desire, and that is Karen Booth and Joss Wood, because we're going to talk about our Moonlight trilogy is coming up this fall that we came up with together, and absolutely excited to talk about that. August 18th will be Priscilla Oliveres, and we're going to be talking about balancing fun and family drama in a romance. And then on September 19th, Jacqueline Thomas and I will be talking about handling difficult real life situations in romance. So lots of good stuff coming up. So make sure you subscribe so that you'll know when all of that is going to be happening. So without further ado, because we got a lot to talk about on this topic, I'm going to bring on Miss Naleighna Kai to talk to us about reader events. So, hello, Naleighna. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Look in the ghetto of StreamYard that you don't like. So thank you. We love it here, but so thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you. See,
so good to have you.
It makes me feel guilty. I got the treadmill that's still up, which means y'all know I ain't been on the treadmill. You know, it tells all your business. Not like Zoom. Zoom, you can have behind all these sweet little screens, but here, all your business gets told.
It's so funny you say that, because I actually prefer this, because you get to see the space and stuff that the people work in, and they create.
But you got your books behind you, honey. I don't have books. So you can talk that because your stuff is together.
But yeah, if I turn my camera around, it would not be good. Right now. It would not be good. So, but thank you for joining. So for anybody who is unfamiliar with you, first of all, I don't like to read bios. I like for you to be able to talk to, readers and tell them about yourself. So tell us a little bit about you and what you write.
Okay, so I am a USA Today and Essence Magazine national best-selling author. I am a literary agent who has landed book deals for clients with traditional publishing houses such as Harlequin, Simon & Schuster, and an imprint distributed by Macmillan. I am a book coach, developmental editor, and the book whisperer, the person that people come to when they're thinking about writing and publishing a book. And I actually help them to do the damn thing. I'm also the founder of the Cavalcade of Authors events that is now in its 17th year. And we're going to Dubai next year. We're going to Dubai next year.
That's exciting. That is so
Oh my
exciting.
God, yes. Mary B. Morrison and Brenda Jackson will be there. So there's about 51 authors who have signed up to come. So I'm working out the logistics. So this will be my first like international, going to the Bahamas and doing signings there is different, but doing literary events and having to switch and pivot last year to do them online was real interesting. We had about 1,000 people registered for the one in October.
Wow.
So,
and for anybody who has not been to one of the Cavalcade of Authors events online or off, just amazing, amazing events. So much fun. I laughed so hard the last one I was in. I just had so much fun. We had so many fun.
Spring Flame. That was the one in April of this year. This was Spring Flame. We did something in between because didn't want it to be too long for seeing the Cavalcade name, the brand name out there. But also, people love you. I mean, so having you at the Cavalcades is you and Brenda, It
was so nice being with her and just, it was just, oh my God, so amazing. And so also, I'm glad I saw that. So for anybody who's joining us from Facebook, there should be a link in the post where you can give StreamYard your permission to see who you are, because I can't see who you are if you don't do that.
That was Kathy Douglas. Hey.
Yeah, we see Kathy. And then, yeah, that's going to be amazing. So first of all, I wanted to go back to in case you missed it, because you might not have seen it because you were talking. But Shay said, yeah, she don't like StreamYard.
Yeah, that's Brown Book. I did an interview with her that was off the chain.
I know, and I was gonna bring that one up at the end as well too. Yep, absolutely. And she has some amazing conversations. So yeah.
Hey Stephanie, I see you, Stephanie Freeman. She's one of my tribe members.
And one of our Facebook users was saying that's so exciting. That's about Dubai. I know. So
yes, there's a Borders over there. Hey Marie, there's a Borders over there. We're trying to get that squared away, because to be able to say we did a signing in Borders in Dubai, and there's another bookstore that's in the mall. So we're trying behind the scenes. And there's Americans over there in Dubai. So I'm actually part of a group that's on Facebook. I'm going to let them know that the authors are there and make it free for them to come see us and have this little taste of home while they're there.
I just love it, and I love your excitement for them. It just makes it so amazing.
Yeah.
So we're definitely gonna get into talking about the events and stuff. But first of all, let's talk about this Open Door Marriage, which is the premise, your latest release.
Oh no!
So the premise of it is a unique one. So how did you come up with the premise for Open Door Marriage? And for reader clarification, also, would you consider the book to be a romance or a love story?
It's both. It's both. Because even though that offer was on the table, he loved the women in different ways. He really loved that.
You gotta tell them what the offer was, because you gotta tell us the premise first, so they'll know where.
It's an NBA basketball player. His name is Dallas Avery. He falls in love with an older woman, and at the moment he asks her to marry him, she disappears, and then she reappears in his life 3 years later, just at the point he's about to marry someone he finds out is her niece. The niece doesn't want to lose that money, so she puts an offer on the table that she thinks he can't refuse. So they all learn that there's no right way to do a wrong thing.
When I saw the premise, I was like, see, only the Naleighna would come up with.
Well, see,
like that popped me by surprise when I found out that she was her niece, her long lost aunt or whatever. So,
and it was handled tastefully. There were some things that I didn't do in the book that somebody said if I had made that one little thing, they would not have loved him as much. They loved him. They just wished that they understood the dynamics. The younger woman could give him children. The older woman couldn't. He's young. He's a young man. He wants children, but he's in love with this older woman. But he also loves the younger woman because she was instrumental in keeping his mother alive. So he felt he owed her. So it's a lot of
a lot of internal conflict happened.
Yeah.
So you talked about the characters and how they're all different. So give us a little of the story behind the story insight on these three characters, Dallas, Tori, and Alicia.
Well, Dallas, he grew up with a father who did not really show him love because there's some family secrets behind there that I am not going to divulge. And Tori, she grew up poor, but she was on her way to becoming a doctor, and then her family ran out of money. And when she was pulled out of school in the middle of class because she owed money in college, and she was like, no, this money thing is a different thing. Now, Alicia had been married for years. It was a loveless marriage. He was an older, much older man, and she was a little girl, kind of very young. It was almost predatory, just this shy of predatory. So she's never done anything. She's always it's been about catering to her husband. So now he's no longer here. And this youngster, he's going to show her what love is really about. And it's based off of a real life experience of the love of my life was a younger man. And I will tell you, he put this old girl back in factory settings. Oh, I'm just being honest. He put me back to factory settings. But here's the thing. I had written down on a sheet of paper when I healed from my tragic past. I was adopted by my biological mother, and she had given me away at birth. That's in the book. She had signed into the hospital as her sister and gave me away to my aunt. And 18 months later, when my aunt landed in prison, I ended up back where my biological mother never wanted me to be. So she, in order to get medical care for me, because I swallowed some type of household disinfectant, in order to get medical care for me, she had to go before the judge and tell them what she had done at my birth. And that's in open door marriage.
Wow.
Compounded by the fact that my father did not respect my right to say no. My uncle did not respect my right to say no. So by the time I was 14 years old, my body and my soul was damaged. So it was writing that helped me to heal. My sexual abuse counselor had me writing, and I used my characters to tell of my pain. I didn't know anything about publishing. I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be an author. I wrote about 6 novels within a 2-year period. Yellow tablet.
Wow.
Tablet,
wow.
And blue ink. And when I finally had healed enough that I wanted a healthy, intimate relationship, I wrote down about 30 attributes of what I wanted to experience in a relationship: love, compassion, respect, joy, peace, safety, about 30 different attributes. And I left it up to God. And it took 2 years. I was writing and nothing happened. I said, okay, God, it's going to be a minute. Could you send me a placeholder until the real number comes along? Well, that's when Tony walked into my life. And with it, the greatest love lesson ever. See, he loved me for me. And this is also in the book. When he asked me to get in the shower with him, I couldn't. I was self-conscious about my body. That's also an open door marriage. That's when I knew that he loved me for me. Wig or weave, makeup, no makeup. He loved all 4 cheeks and a couple of chins. He loved me for me. I didn't love me for me.
Right.
And that's where, since that time, since he's been taken from this earth, I've been spending the time having a love affair with myself, giving myself the love that I didn't get when I was growing up.
Yeah. That's something that's how because almost every time I talk to an author, and they always say things like, well, I always wrote when I was a kid. I always knew I wanted to be an author. I know personally for me, I loved stories as a kid, and I wrote all the time, and I knew I wanted to write. And so that's so interesting that how you became a writer is a whole part of your healing process. Yes. And Naleighna got us up here. She don't have us all crying. So
no, I'm crying because when I talk about it, it just.
I know, but one of the things I love and respect about you so much is how authentic you are, how open and authentic you are. And I think that was one of my things, especially when I first started writing. It was so hard for me to kind of let go of all of the, super conservative upbringing and all that kind of stuff, to just kind of relax and release and just forget about who's gonna read what and just be me.
Yes.
And just write what I wanted to write. And so, but one of the things, like I said, when you are super authentic and honest with yourself and who you are, whether you put parts of your story on the page as openly as you do or not, if you're more authentic about who you are and open, that really comes through in the story. And I think it makes the story so much better. But it also, I think it helps connect with readers, especially readers who can relate to your experience, even those who can't, maybe, because that's one of the things I love about writing in the world, the writing world too, is that it helps us become more empathetic because we get to, see and walk in the shoes of somebody who has an experience different than our own. And so, I mean, that's awesome. And I love how not only do you do that, you're so open about it because I know that it can help somebody else, So I'm sure people have come to you all the time and told you that your reading has touched them. Your writing has touched them. So
indeed, they have. And actually, it was one woman when I wrote in Was It Good for You Too? I wrote, where was God when all of these ugly things happened? And when I put the question in there, I had to put the answer. And I was about to go to press with that book. And I needed to have that answer and delve into my whys, the reasoning, and not just be superficial. And what I came up with was very beautiful. Every time I read it, it's very profound. And it was a reader that was in a Facebook group that said she'd been looking for that answer all her life. She'd asked her spiritual circle, she'd asked her pastor, but she was up at 2:00 in the morning reading Was It Good for You Too? And she saw my answer to that question. Where was God when all these ugly things happened? And to me, that touched my soul. That touched my soul.
I can't even imagine how much, especially when it's from a real life experience like that, that touched you and changed your life in such a big way. Because I know that's one of the things that really moves me is when a reader reaches out and says, hey, even if it's just something like, hey, this book kept me up all night, let alone if it in some way touched their life or made them think or, made them feel seen or whatever. So just, wow. So thank you for being so open, so honest, and for sharing with us and with the world your stories. So, oh my gosh. So we're going to definitely point people back to your website so they can see more of your amazing books. We're going to talk more about some of the group stuff that you all do too. So you manage a cooperative basically of authors called NK Tribe called Success. Tell us a little bit about the group and about some of the collaborative projects that your group has worked on, like Kings of the Castle and Knights of the Castle.
Okay, so we started as a group that marketed and promoted together. That was what started. I had already had a group that did an anthology years before. It was Macro Literary All Stars. My company is named the Macro Group. And it was a collective of authors that we wrote together, and some of them got book deals with Harlequin behind doing that collective project. So it took me a few years, and we started off, I put a call in for people who wanted to market and promote. From there, we moved into doing an anthology. Well, 2 anthologies. It was Sugar, Spice. It was supposed to be Sugar, Spice, and then a third one, Everything Nice. But once people saw how much work that went into it, it ended up only being Sugar and Spice. We lost people. Because it isn't just the writing of it. It isn't all of that, the editing, the interior design, all of that. It is the marketing promotion efforts that come along with it. And people said deuces. But from there, we went on to, there was a challenge, the cookbook. Oh my God, the cookbook. You're in one of the cookbooks.
Yep.
That was one of the absolute best marketing projects that we've done. And that was a suggestion from Sierra London, who's a romance author herself, interracial romance. And she also does paranormal. But we did that we did the Sugar and Spice cookbook. And that was a holiday cookbook. And then we did a small anthology. It was Just One Taste. And we did Just One Kiss. And so we did the Just One Taste cookbook that went along with that. Then there was a lot going on in the world, and women were being hurt and harmed, and men weren't able to handle rejection. It was the final straw for me was when it was a woman that was in Wisconsin, and she went in the club with her friend, and this guy asked for her phone number, and she said, I already have a man. He killed her. So strange. And then, of course, those women who were being killed when they were trying to leave abusive relations, my heart started hurting. Yeah. And I stopped believing in love. I wanted to believe in love again. That's where the Kings of the Castle came from. I put a challenge out to the tribe. I used the Harlequin parameters, the alpha male, alpha female, but it was around these men who were just very powerful and the women who were equally powerful. And it didn't take for them to dim their light for the men to shine. And baby, the tribe delivered. They delivered on the Kings of the Castle. Knights of the Castle, and now the Queens are coming.
Oh my God.
Queens are coming.
When?
Towards the end of this year. We tend to do it towards the end of like November, December. And they will release like once every week or something to that degree. But we generally, that has been our sweet spot. November, December of this year, the Queens of the Castle are coming. The covers are already done. And my son, the Kings of the Castle and King and Knight.
He does some amazing
Yeah,
covers.
A.L. Woodson, he does amazing covers. So now we have actually, you'll probably be the first one to know. We have a series. I won't tell you what it is. We have a series releasing on the same day, all 9 books on the same day this month, June 29th.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you after what it is. But it is in a genre that a good majority of us have not written in. And it's needed right now. It's inspirational. And it's uniquely different. And I think the world is going to be.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, you know, I could definitely appreciate that because we have been going through a lot of us. Yeah. Personally, I could absolutely say for me personally. So yeah, that's interesting. So it's the June 29th. That's going to be coming up, and they're all released on the same day.
All on the same.
Did we just get an exclusive here?
We got an exclusive, and it's actually okay. I can tell you that it's Christian fiction. But it's not just Christian fiction. Some of it is inspirational because everybody in the tribe is of different religions and backgrounds. So it's inspirational fiction. But some of them are taken from Bible stories. And they did a phenomenal job.
Oh my God, it's so exciting.
When we're done,
everything out here.
I know. It's and a lot of people, a lot of the authors that wrote it, some of them now are in sexual abuse therapy. Shannon, I gave her a sneak peek of the covers, so she's seen them. There's phenomenal.
Yeah, Shannon Harper said they are amazing. So I'm even more intrigued.
Yes.
Stephanie said, JL did her covers too. Yeah, he does some amazing covers.
Yeah, but some people in the books told things that they hadn't told their families yet, so they had to have a conversation. People opened up in this series. One person had been holding on to something that happened to them when 14, they're 70, and they were left for dead, and they never told anyone. Then there was another person that told a couple of really tragic, and so it's all woven in there, and it's kind of, we've had to put a couple of trigger warners in there, but they really opened up a lot. I couldn't even, it was so deep that I had to split mine into 2 separate books.
Wow. Yeah. As you said, it's going to be 9 books in total. What's the name of the series? Oh, you said you're not going to tell us that.
It's the Merry Hearts. You just say laughter does the heart make the merry hearts. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, that is so exciting. Well, y'all heard it here first. And where can they go?
It's not up yet.
It's not up yet. So they need to subscribe into your email.
Yes.
So in the description, you'll see the website for Naleighna, and so you can go to her website, sign up for her newsletter. So then all of this stuff that's happening, including this trip we're about to talk about to Dubai. And what year is that? Is that next year?
Next year.
So all of that, make sure you go to her website.
Brenda Jackson is going.
Get on the mailing list. Yes, Brenda Jackson's going to be there. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you do that. And Marie said, looking forward to the new releases. And Midnight said, exciting. Yes, it is very exciting. So that is definitely some exciting stuff. So before we hop into this topic of creating reader events, give us a little bit more of your history with the Cavalcade of Authors. What made you create the event in the first place, and how long has it been going on for anybody who's not familiar?
Okay, so it's been around for 17 years. And what had happened was I got a call from the Chicago Public Library, and this woman wanted me to vet somebody who wasn't from Chicago. And unfortunately, I couldn't vet that person because I know something that has happened during Book Expo America. It was a major Black event, and she asked me to vet the woman, and I really couldn't, because she was persona non grata with several publishing houses for taking the money and not doing the event. So all I could tell them was like, I don't really know much about her, which was not necessarily the truth, but I wasn't going to tank her either. Well, that's when they said that, we really kind of want somebody from Chicago. And I was like, well, I don't do these, I don't do them. And they said, but if you will put together an event, we will give you marketing promotion support. Bing! All of a sudden,
Wow.
I'm in business, baby. The kind of support that they were giving, it was October, Chicago's Book Festival month. And they were going to put the event in these pamphlets that they put in all City of Chicago offices, all libraries. I was like, that was an offer I couldn't refuse.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So
Refuse.
that also was like not a planned thing. Like, usually it's like, oh, I've always loved doing events, or I love going to events.
Church stuff, fashion shows.
Stuff just happened for you. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And 17 years it's been going on. So if you haven't heard of it already and you haven't ever been to one online or offline, see, it's been happening for 17 years. And you are based in Chicago. So a lot of them have happened there, but you've also been to other places like the Bahamas.
Atlantis Resorts. We've done that 3 times. And one of them with LA Banks. The first one was 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2009. And she was the featured author there. And she got on the floor and played jacks, baby. She was killing it.
I love it. Have there been other locations besides? So what other locations besides?
We did one in Washington, D.C. during Book Expo America when that event happened. People went to that event and they were so ticked they didn't come back to my event. So it was really interesting. So Washington, but mostly we've had it in the Bahamas 3 times. And that's the Atlantis Resorts. We have a following down there. They are Kindle happy. And we've had people that come to the States when we have it. They'll come to the States and visit, and to Chicago when we have it. And they're actually coming to Dubai as well. So we're working that all out.
My goodness. So what made you pick Dubai?
I went a year and a half ago. I had put it on my list. I have a life grid. And in my life grid, the thing that I wanted to do for myself, I want to go to the Canada, the Niagara Falls. I want to see it from the Canada side. I wanted to go and do more comedies. And I had wanted to go to India. But everybody that I know that went to India, except for Indians, said don't go to India.
Oh my
so
God.
I put Dubai instead. I wanted to see something culturally different. And I'm telling you, not even a few weeks later, I had lunch with somebody that I hadn't seen in maybe 6-7 years. And she says, oh, we have a trip going to Dubai. And I'm like, I had just written it down. And I didn't know anything other than what you saw in Sex and the City and what was that, Fast and Furious. So I didn't really know. I just thought it was a beautiful place. So, and I didn't even realize this is how, I hate to say dumb, but slighted I was, or blinded I was. I didn't realize it was in the Middle East. That's all I saw was the beauty of the place, the parts that they would like for you to see. So I said, okay, I would like to go. She said, oh, girl, we got like 75 people on this wait list, 50, 75 people. I'm like, put me on the wait list. Not even a few weeks later.
Wow, that's
a call
freaking amazing
for me to go because somebody has they were afraid of going because of where it was. And I didn't even get the tip off of then.
Yeah,
and she was mad. She was mad. When we were making the transfer, she was mad. She had to give up her spot because of her fears. And I was like, lady, just take the money. Just take, let's. So I end up in Dubai, and it was a wonderful experience. It's different when you're in a place where American laws and ways and culture is not the epicenter of the world. You see Kentucky Fried Chicken and it's got those letters underneath. They had Popeyes, they had all of these different places, but you kind of feel out of sorts a little bit because you don't know what to expect. Say you did there's hardly any crime over there. Let me tell you, I left my phone in a store. I left my iPhone. Do you know they tracked me down 12 blocks to bring me back my phone?
Wow.
Cameras. They found me. They got cameras everywhere.
Wow.
So crime is practically non-existent. They got one prison over there, and their prison over there is supposedly so much like better than Club Fed over here. So, but I'm just saying they want the money. That's where their money comes from because first it was oil. Now everybody's going electric. So they got to find some way different. So now it's tourism. Now it's the medical field. Now it's technology. So they're building up other areas. So we did the Knights of the Castle is based on Dubai. It's called Durabia, but it's
Dubai. That's pretty awesome. I know that was for me the first time somebody says somebody going to Dubai, like that's the Middle East.
But you know what? That's not the area where all the
framed as a place that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So y'all got me like,
Yes.
that's pretty amazing. So the questions to readers is, what are some of the places that you have gone for reader events? I know for me personally, I've been to Chicago for one. I went to Reno, Nevada for one.
I was there with you on that one. That was what was that? RT Book Lovers Convention?
RT, and RT was the start of reader events for me. I went to the one in Atlanta.
I went there.
Very next year, I went to the one in Reno, and then that was the last one. So
I know. So now it's Book Lovers Con. So they were supposed to have it in Nashville, and they're having it at the end of this year in Nashville.
Okay.
So it's still going on this year, but I'm not sure if the recovery from all of this that just happened, because people don't realize with the events, the hotels didn't get that money back.
Yes.
I'm still trying to get my money back from the Bahamas.
Wow. I wonder about that because, in a lot of instances, it's not even like whether or not you wanted to do it or not. It was a shutdown. So like you had no choice. So I wondered about how that worked out with the refunds and stuff with the hotels and stuff. So
they gave the readers, they got their hotel money back, but the deposit parts, I've been paying it back out of my own pocket because I'm still waiting for Atlantis to slide me back my funds. So I'm doing it little by little, and some people are sliding their stuff over to Dubai. But either way, I have a agency handling the Dubai trip, but I have to do some preliminary stuff myself. But I can't wait. And then we're going to probably go to other places like Spain, Morocco.
All places on my bucket list. So again, when is the one in Dubai happening?
It is November 10th through the 19th of 2022. And it is, from a Thursday to a following Saturday. And the way I do events, even when I'm in the Bahamas, the reader events take up only 20% of the time because I want people to enjoy the resort. Or when we're in Dubai, there's like, out of those 9 days, about 5 of them are free for you to do what you want.
Now, see, I love that right there. Because like when I'm planning something for instance, for us or, for a group of friends or whatever, I like to plan enough time where you can do things that are exciting and fun, but then you have enough time to. Because what's the point of going somewhere else if you're going to spend all your time in a hotel room or in a conference room?
In a conference room, right.
So I love that. That's the kind of planning thoughts that are important to make it a successful event. So that's a perfect segue into, given your experience, what are your 5 tips for creating a fun, engaging, and memorable reader event?
Make it interactive. When we do the Cavalcade, it was mostly a bus tour. So the readers were on the bus with the authors. And it was one time that Brenda Jackson and Beverly Jenkins, they turned around and put their knees in the seat to face everybody. And they were just talking to them the entire way, going shopping. And then there's some people, our woman Beverly, she, had to have her smoke. So there were people outside taking the smoke with Beverly. They remember that. Or when she went shopping and she left her wallet back at the hotel, about 5, 6 different people offered to buy whatever it was she wanted. So there's that. And then there was a time that Rashonda Tate Billingsley, everybody knows her love of shoes. When we went on the Magnificent Mile on Oak Street, man, she tore off the bus. She saw Jimmy Choo's. Man, the door didn't even open fast enough. She was hooking it. She was hooking it to the store, and the readers were right behind her. And then we were at Marilyn Miglin's spot, and each one of them got a perfume bottle from Marilyn Miglin, the lady who made Pheromone. So we had an event at her spot. So each place was different. The food, make sure that there's enough food and that the food is good. So we've done East Indian restaurants. We've done India House downtown. We've done the Grand Lux, which is the upscale restaurant owned by the Cheesecake Factory.
I didn't know they had upscale.
Ooh, baby. Cheesecake Factory is good, but Grand Lux, OMG. So we've had events there, and then sometimes we'll make late night runs to Harold's Chicken, to Italian Fiesta. We've got to slide by White Castles because some people haven't had White Castles. So there's all of these things, but also too, I make sure that the authors know. You saw it during the Cavalcade, the virtual one. It runs like that. When it's the live event, everybody gets to hear from everyone, authors and readers alike. They get 5 minutes the first night to introduce themselves, and I time it. Whether you're a New York Times bestselling author or you are A new author, you all get the same amount of time. If you can't sell it in 5 minutes, you don't need 50. The next day, they get to read from their books 5 minutes. And it was one time, Pat George Walker, she took a little more time on that Friday. So she was reading, I was coming to get her, right? And she was sliding off this way, I'm coming this way, and the whole audience was just cracking up. So, and then there's those late night chats where people have opened up to things that have hurt them or harmed them, and things that, especially the authors too, they let their hair down. We had some Moscato in the house, and it was one time, let me tell you, one time, and it was a Stella Rosa Moscato, and my son was pouring, right? And it was Brenda Jackson and Beverly Jenkins was there, and they kept putting their cup out. And finally, I realized these women got to get up in the morning. I said, Jimmy, don't keep tipping them or whining them. They got to get up. Then we had popcorn, the Garrett's popcorn. And man, I realized I made a mistake. From that point on, we used cups and not the little bags they come in, because if folks was rattling those bags, we couldn't hear nothing.
That is funny. Those kind of moments, like you just always remember that stuff. Like,
yeah.
At LaShira's Lights, Camera, Action, I remember one of the readers, I was sitting down, I sat next to her, and then she's like, she had the Moscato in her purse and a cup. I'm like,
I know, right?
Thank you.
Oh.
But just like I said, for the longest, I just didn't want to invest that kind of money in going to the different events and stuff. But once I did, I got it. I really got what you get from that investment and how it helps you as an author, but also how much you get from it as a reader. Like, yes. Even just as a reader, when I went to those last two RTs, hell, I needed luggage just to bring all the books you got for free. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole luggage full of and these like hardbacks, expensive books. Like, I got my ticket.
I know, right?
Registration and book costs, not to mention the experiences that I had. The parties and stuff were so amazing. They were all so different, sponsored by different authors and stuff. So just so amazing, so cool. So I got interactive. 2, I got food, right? Did I miss something?
Making sure that the readers hear from everyone. That's a key point, because there's some places that you go, they get an hour, and it's 5 minutes per author. And it may go over a little bit, like if we have more authors. But here's the thing, because I don't like it that when you go to a place, you have to choose between this room or that. I've been at an event where readers get up halfway through. Why? Because there's another author coming up. They don't really get to experience that. But readers and authors alike get to do and hear that 5 minutes and learn from each other. And that's the key point. So but also choosing locations where they're not stuck with just being, it's not at the airport where you can't walk out. I choose hotels where people can walk out and experience the place that they're in. So they can walk out on the Mag Mile, 2 blocks from the Mag Mile. They don't have to wait for the event to provide the entertainment. Right. They can entertain themselves. So that's key. But also too, making it an event that they want to come back to, because when they finish, they be like, oh my God, it was 3 days, but it felt like I'm going to get 1 week. That you give them enough time that they can draw breath, as well as really enjoy and also too, you make it conducive for them to spend money on books. Mm-hmm. My thing is, sometimes people don't, I'm on Clubhouse a lot, and I can be in a room, and only when I speak and I tell who I am and what I do, that's when I get the followers. It's the same thing with readers and authors. I know one person had bought one author's books already, but she said something on that Sunday during the spiritual aspect of the Cavalcade that made her get up and buy 5 more books. Wow. And you never know at what point that you'll say something. It could be the meet and greet. It could be, and I don't ever preempt them. Those questions, they get them, I'll think of it off the cuff. And so they have to open their heart. And it was enough to sell books. And the thing about it is, RT Book Lovers Convention and Book Lovers Con, they've been a big supporter of the Cavalcade. I have a basement full of books waiting to be given away, because that's the incentive. If they buy a book at the Cavalcade, they get a ticket to go to the treasure chest, and they can pick out any free book they want. What does that mean? So trade paperback sales at the Cavalcade is killer.
Wow, that's awesome. Stephanie says, got my drink and my a two-step ready, here I come, Dubai.
Yeah, she is an amazing author herself. She's a tribe member. Teresa Woodard, I miss those events. Yes, we miss you too. We coming though. Come to Dubai.
Marie's ready for her two-step lesson.
And that's another thing we would have is if you're in Chicago, we had stepping lessons. Chicago South stepping, and we had lessons.
That would be amazing.
And we had Zumba lessons at one point. So all of that. And then we've had Pat George Walker do some comedy, and we've had poetry. So whatever artistic expression that an author has, it is to connect with the readers. And that's the key point. You know, they say closed mouths don't get fed.
Yes, that's right.
Readers have to open their mouths so they can make those sales, but also make those connections of people, oh, I can't wait for the next book, or the next book, or the next book, because readers drive this train. Readers drive this train. So whatever way I can make it, I want to make it a good experience for the reader and the author. The authors are like, some of them sign up before they don't even get out the first one, and they already signing up. I want to be on the next one. That's what you want, because they had a good time too. And as an event host, it is my business. Some people say, well, I made my money. No, I want to make sure the authors make their money.
Right.
That's why
that'll make them want to come back. That's the thing. You know, you might have a event, it seems great, or it made you money, like you said, but if the authors didn't feel like they got anything out of it either, or if the readers didn't feel like they got anything out of it, you're not gonna, it's not gonna continue it. You might have got them one time, but you're not gonna get them again. So
true. The authors themselves, my thing is, they pay more than the readers to come to the event. What is their return on the investment? How did I figure that out? Is by having those free books and incentives when they buy ebooks, because some people are ebook only. But I'm telling you, that table is spread. We have people donate books, not just RT, not just Book Lovers Con. And we have a table you can go and get, oh, I've always wanted this book. Some of them are classics, old Elin Harris or Mary B. Morrison, whatever. It's there, and people go, oh, you should see them. They're like kids in the candy store, and it's about books. So making it where it's inducive. If you buy, at one point we would bundle things from the tribe. If you buy 6 books from the tribe, you got, instead of 6 books, you got 8 or 9. Yeah, and then
that definitely does help, because I did that at one of LaShura's events. It was like, if you get these 2 books, you get this one that's not even available on sale yet. Yeah, as a gift, because it was an author copy. I couldn't sell it anyway, so it worked out
every time. So, they love to get it.
Yeah, anytime you can give a bonus like that, I mean, to reward the readers for coming out to see you and support you, and it's just, I want to do that, So speaking of, so we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the common mistakes that you see at some events that are made that might make it not so enjoyable for either the author or the reader?
Not at my events, because I realize food is key. Running out of food. There's been some events where they've asked the authors not to eat in order to make sure that the readers eat.
Wow.
Taste the food. Taste the food before you have it served. Because I'm telling you, there's some hotels, they pride themselves on their food. The other ones, they get that processed stuff and it's just average. That's why most of my stuff does. Breakfast, you can't go wrong with. Most of the time, the breakfast is at the hotel, but the specialty events, Grand Lux, India House, or I had it at Room 43 where I was able to bring the food in or have it catered in, because I know what it tastes like. Because just like book clubs, they sit around, what they do: eat, read, eat, talk, eat. Food is a very important. Also, treating authors differently. I don't care if you're a New York Times, USA Today, national best-selling author, or you're a brand new author. Everybody is treated equally at the Cavalcade. Equally. Now, advertising is different. I may put Brenda Jackson or Beverly Jenkins on, because that's the people. You want me to draw the people in order for you to sell books too.
That's right.
That is different. But at the event itself, everybody gets 5 minutes. There are people who actually gave up their space. No, let Brenda keep talking. I'll give up my 5 minutes.
I know I did that. I'm like, let her go.
Yes.
I want to hear more.
Right. When you came to that event, it was supposed to be sectioned off. But because we saw the time was blending, that's when we brought Martha on, and you guys got to talk to Brenda, And you know that's on YouTube. That is on YouTube already. It's on the Cavalcade of Authors channel.
Before they can see it, see that on YouTube. The last
We
one.
have
There's some great conversations and stuff there.
It was awesome. Cavalcade of Authors. We have a YouTube channel, so if you look up Cavalcade of Authors, it will pop up. And both of yours are on there. The one from last year and then the one from earlier is there. And it's been amazing. So treating everyone equally. We don't get divas at our event. Ones that go. No. Because you still have to make your mark. There are people who don't know who you are.
Right.
Let's look at it. Right now, there's a wave of new readers who were teens or they couldn't read my books that they can read it now. So you have to keep introducing yourself. You can't just think that people know who you are just because you've been out here XYZ amount of years. We're meeting whole new, like on Clubhouse.
I was going to have you bring up Clubhouse because you have become the queen of Clubhouse. So tell people, first of all, who are not familiar with Clubhouse, what it is in the first place.
Clubhouse is an audio-only drop-in app. It's an app. It's social media, but it's audio-only. Just imagine you're at this big convention and you can go from room to room. There's some ratchet rooms. There's some networking rooms. There's some business rooms. Don't laugh.
There are some ratchet rooms.
Wait. Don't laugh. I done been in some of them ratchet rooms. I'm just be honest. But there's a trap house. There's relationship rooms. There's business rooms. There's people. What I found on that app was the most amazing thing. There was one woman who had to make a choice last year between her job and her children. And she chose her children, of course. Well, some people can't make that choice, but she chose her children. And let me tell you, she started her business. It was a shea butter business. She didn't know what she was doing. She just knew she could make these products. And there were 5 women in that room on Clubhouse that said, DM me. I want to put your products in my subscription box. These women gave her her stuff moving so she could provide for her children. Wow. There was another woman that was in a room. She was almost finished with school. She had a $2,012 bill. She didn't tell us what amount. She said it was a little bit left. She had to go and she would be finished with school. And she ran out of money, so she had to work so she could do. And let me tell you, it was a man that says, how much money is it? And she said about $2,012. He says, send me your Cash App. I'll send you the money right now.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Oh my goodness.
What you are looking for is looking for you. Since I've been on that app, I've leaned into that app. I started December 31st with 1,970 followers on Instagram. I'm now over 7,500.
Wow.
And just this show, it took me 2 years. 2 years to get to 1,907. Instagram is the hardest to grow. But if you lean in on Clubhouse as an author, it will build up your, and then not to even say that I have that book funnel with a free book I'm giving away, the free tips on marketing, the free tips on promotion, and all of that stuff. That has helped to grow my subscriber list for my newsletter. I've gained about maybe 700 people over the last few months. So lean in on Clubhouse, this social media, Instagram. I see that's my virtual personal assistant, Angela Lackey. She is also on Clubhouse. But it's also connecting me with movie producers and all of these different people. And who has this?
Yeah, I see some of those names because, like, honestly, I think I'm trying to think of who it was first. I think it might have been, it was probably you who first asked me about Clubhouse. And then after you asked me, I think like 2 other people asked me, maybe Shavana Futrell and a couple other people. I'm like, okay, what is this Clubhouse? So it's still like a new thing to me. I hate, like, I have become this crotchety woman who was like, I'm always resistant to these new technologies because I'm like, Snapchat, I ain't got time for that, and did that. So
or TikTok, I'm not doing that either. Let me tell you, if it was left up to me, I'd still be on MySpace. My son has brought me kicking and screaming to every social media platform. Facebook, and then it was Twitter.
That's the guy who was everybody's friend on Facebook, on MySpace.
I know, right? I'm like really? But you have to be where the readers are. Because look, remember what happened recently with, what was it, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight had that versus.
Yes. Okay,
let's look at it. We said we have to be where the readers are. If they're on all those platforms, we need to be on those platforms. Yes. So Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight on versus. Well, what had happened was their target market doesn't do Apple and Instagram. So, they grabbed all the youngsters in the house, had to set up for them to see it on this stream, that stream, no stream, whatever stream, all these people around this one little thing watching the verses and the numbers didn't rack up. Why? Because that was not the target market of people who use those mediums of where it was streamed to. So the youngsters were in demand in the family because I want to see me some Patty. I want to see me some Gladys. But that's the thing. The numbers for what was Brandy and Monica were much larger because the millennials, Gen X, all of that's what they're familiar with. They're familiar with the technology. So their fans and followers were in those platforms. Whereas the numbers were a lot lower for Patty and Gladys, even though they probably had just as many because, the youngsters like some old school music too. They hear it growing up.
I know
but
my
they
son does.
those numbers because they weren't on the platforms where the people of their generation who grew up on Patty and Gladys were. So, yeah.
Wow. So once I came in and signed up, like I said, honestly, the only times I've been in is when I've been in for you and maybe like one other person like Lashira or something. But so I'm trying to gravitate to. But because I signed up for it and I get the notices, it's amazing to me. Sometimes I'll see a room is open and it's like, it'll be like these recording stars or actors are in there talking and you can pop into the room. Right. And be a part of the conversation or at least listen, and I'm just like, I'm always tempted.
You should. Actually, I ended up on a stage recently with the lady who wrote E.L. James. She goes by Erica L. James on 50 Shades of Grey lady. And she listened to the story of my son's proposal and she unmiked and said, "Oh my God, I'm in tears." And everybody in the room was like, "Tell us, did she say yes? Did she say yes?" And they were engaged. So you'll be engaged with people you wouldn't normally be in the same room.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to work with my PA.
Oh, but
we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Can I tell you the best experience I had on there?
No.
I can't tell you. Okay.
No. I thought you said. Did you tell me?
The trap house, girl. I got pinged into the trap house, and when I went into that room and I saw the pictures of all these dudes, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm not supposed to be in here." I was about to hit that deuces button and leave out, and then I heard, "Hey, there's that author lady." Let me tell you, these young men had just gotten deals with major record labels. They needed to know how to do press kits and press releases. I spent 45 minutes in that room. And even though that they weren't my target market, they were serious about their business and they were respectful. Miss Ma'am, Miss Kai, Miss Author Lady, all of that. But let me tell you, when I was done, ma'am, I'm going to have my sister to buy your book and my mother to buy your book, my girl to buy your book. Though they weren't my target market, but in me giving that time to them and not making them feel some kind of way, because in real life, would I walk into a room with all them rough dudes? No. But here's the thing: everywhere I go on Facebook now, if they're in the room or if they're on the moderator's position, bring her up. There's Naleighna Kai is in the house, and they'll say something else like Naleighna Kai is in the building. I'm like, and they'll bring me up, and they will promote me. For me spending that 45 minutes and making connections with people I would never have known about or never walked into a room and had a conversation with.
Yeah, that is a cool story. Very, 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 and that's just period. With like being kind of a given, kind of open person, and just amazing things happen. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to get over my fears.
Just go to every Friday. We're there at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do a room under the Cavalcade of Authors on the 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time every Friday, and it's 1 hour. 1 hour every Friday. That's one place. And I know LaShonda Hoffman does something on there. I don't know about LaShonda. I know she may, but all of us who have things going on in real life, we also have things on Clubhouse because it's extending our brand. So I have the Cavalcade of Authors Club. I have a Tribe Called Success Club. And I also have the Literary Cafe Club. So all of those things on Clubhouse. And I've been in a room where I've pitched to movie producers. And one person said, "Oh, I'm buying this book right now," because they wanted to give me an option for it. So what you are looking for is looking for you on this app. Trust me.
Wow. And how do people join Clubhouse? Because is it still at the point where you have to be invited by people?
Yes, it's invite only, but I have 1,000. So anybody listening to this and they need an invite to Clubhouse, you can join my club on my Facebook group, Naleighna Kai's Literary Cafe. The link is up there for people to click on and just go straight in, because now it's for Android as well, Android and iPhone. First it was iPhone,
Okay.
and then it went to Android. So yes, if you need an invite, I got you covered. Come on in. The Naleighna Kai's Literary Cafe group on Facebook. I have it in the announcements, so it doesn't go anywhere. You can just click and just do your thing.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So tell people one more time about when the Cavalcade of Authors in Dubai is going to be happening and how they can find out more about it.
We it's the Cavalcade of Authors in Dubai, November 10th through the 19th, 2022. We are still doing one in October. It's virtual though. We're going to do the Black Women's Expo, which is in August. There's a thing at the McCormick Place. We'll be doing the Literary Cafe there. I thought that they were going to wait. Wait for about a year, but they're pulling off of this. We're going to be live at the Literary Cafe at the Black Women's Expo in August. Then October this year. If you click the link in my Instagram bio, it will take you to register for the free one in October of this year. It will take you to register for the one in Dubai. Deposits are going to become due within the next 2 weeks, and they're going to do a small monthly payment plan to get it all together. Right now, we're just doing hotel because we can't even book. They were so pissed at me for trying to do this so many months out. I plan my events 18 to 24 months out. They're like, we can't even book hotel for 11 months out. So I don't want all of this to hit people at the same time. Let's do the hotel. And authors only pay $150 more than readers do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. So very exciting. If you want to go to Dubai and if you want to be a part of all the awesomeness of the Cavalcade of Authors,
you should go.
Make sure that you go to NaleighnaKai.com, right? And to sign up for the newsletter, and if you see her on Instagram in her bio, you can sign up for the link there. So Naleighna, tell us what we can expect from you next, and then from also you already told us what's coming next for
in June 29th. We're going to be doing the reveal in a minute. Actually, when I'm done, I got to finish doing the edits for this until everything is edited and ready. And I just found from my editor that I had to split the story in because it was so heavy that it needed to be split into 2 books. So I'm scrambling to get everybody else's stuff is done, been through the beta readers and everything like that. So June 29th, there's that inspirational one coming out, and the covers are the bomb. I'm going to show them to you after we're done. The covers are the bomb. And then we have the Pleasure series coming out based on Open Door Marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Pleasure series. 10 Days of Pleasure, 20 Days of Pleasure, all the way down. It's 9 books in that series.
Okay, wow.
At the end of this year, The Queens of the Castle. 9 books in that series.
So many amazing projects happening. So again, make sure you sign up for her newsletter list so that you'll be privy to all of this information. Yeah. Ola Lawson says so much information my head is spinning. Yeah, we're throwing a lot of
yeah.
You got to sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll get all of that, all the reminders and stuff that you need on that. That's amazing. So where can readers connect with you online?
I'm Naleighna Kai everywhere. On Instagram, BookBub, Goodreads, my Facebook page, everywhere. Twitter, it's all Naleighna Kai. And if there's anyone who's thinking about writing and publishing a book, if you click the link in my Instagram bio, it will take you to free tips on getting you started writing fiction, free tips for writing your life story, free tips on publishing. If you're already published, there's some marketing promotion tips. That's all free. Or you can scan down past the testimonials on my Instagram page and look for the number 9. You'll have the 9 free tips for this, 9 free tips for 9. So it's all out there for free. And I am still available for one-on-one consultations. I love you, but the free stuff is out there. But if you want to, I'm just saying, other stuff, love you.
But look at the success that you've had. So, hey, and all the information that you just shared, even is just like Caitlin and Ola said their heads are spinning.
Hey, Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin.
So you definitely are hooking us up. So thank you so much for for sharing your personal experience, telling us more about open door marriage, and for just talking about these events and stuff, and all the tips that you offered for events. So, here's a question that I didn't think of before until just now.
Okay.
Is there something that readers should know in terms of like tips that they should think of in order to make their experience better?
Experience better where? Reading?
At a reader event, yeah. What can they
have a game plan
do to make their experience better when they go to a reader event?
Have a game plan. Number one, come for the authors that you already know. But put some money in reserve for the people that you meet while you're there, like, oh my God, she's dope. Because the thing about it is, you want to support the authors that resonate with you. So here's a funny thing. A reader will tell me, dang, you breaking my budget. And I'm saying, I'm supposed to feel bad about that? You're not going to be able to be in my presence and look at it for a whole year and a half. We didn't get to do any readers events. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my thing is, it's just, man, I live in Chicago. GL Reed, I live in Chicago. I'm on the south side. I'm in Pullman right now. She's asking me when I'm in Chicago. But the thing about it is, come prepared. Yes, you want to promote support the people you already know, but be open to some of the new authors that you have never heard of, and have some money in reserve for that. And
some good tips.
Yeah, and buy ahead of time. Buy your book. Well, no, if this event has been sponsored. My thing is, what I do for the Cavalcade is we bundle and have the book sold by tribe members before people even got there. So when they're there,
you pre-sell them so people can pre-order the events. I love that. That way you'll have enough books there, because I know, for instance, when we did Book Euphoria that first year, a lot of folks ran out of books. So if they had pre-ordered them, that they would make sure that they got one of the books. And I think Gio Reed too, when she asked about Chicago, she just clarified that when is the next time you're going to have a book event in Chicago?
We'll be at the Expo for Today's Black Woman. The Expo for Today's Black Woman, which is in August. I don't have the dates at the top of my head, but if you inbox me, Lisa Whitson or Naleighna Kai at gmail.com.
See, I didn't mess up.
No, it's okay, because it's still the same thing. Lisa Whitson and Naleighna Kai, still the same person. Yeah.
So and then if you're on her mailing list, you'll definitely get a reminder about that.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And so I just wanted to go back real quick through some of the comments, because we have some amazing comments. Marie said, you offer so much value. Thank you.
Oh.
Pat said, I enjoyed all of this. Linda Cheney says, this has been amazing. Kathy, whom we adore and love, says this has been a wonderful interview.
Oh,
Kathy in Chicago, area.
Yeah, she's been to the Cavalcade too. She's trying to sign at the one in October.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love it. And so Jill said thank you on that. Okay, so here's a comment. Plus, most new authors with average egos won't ask for a lot of money for their readings.
Okay. I don't know what that means, though.
I'm like trying to think of it. If you want to clarify, please
tell me what you mean, because I'd like to address it. I know you're asking something.
So, and then one of our Facebook users, whose name I can't see, said, love this chat. So much good information and fun times to be had. Thank you. Definitely thank you all for joining us, and thank you for your participation and stuff, because that always makes, like you said, one of the tips was making the thing interactive. And that's one of the things I love about doing this is the interaction with, readers and viewers and other authors, just getting so much additional information or great questions in the chat. So that has been pretty amazing. So I'm going to see if we get some clarification on that one question. And Angel says,
hey, that's my Angel VPX. She is a dynamic virtual personal assistant. Like self-pub authors asking $6.99 for ebook. Yeah, some of them can price themselves out of the market. I don't even do well for the King series, yes, but for my regular books, it's like $3.99, $4.99. I don't go that high. So you're right. They can price themselves out of the market. But at the event, I really focus on trade paperback sales and getting those autographed, because it's something about holding the book and seeing it with your name in it. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it and you learned a lot from it. And MF Hopkins says, I hate that I got here too late, but as soon as it's done, you should be able to watch the replay. So you can always go back and listen to anything that you didn't hear before. And Naleighna is everywhere and so available. So she'll definitely, I'm sure if you have other questions or stuff, be willing to answer those questions for you. Jill says, thank you, ladies. I was at one a very long time ago with Francis Ray and Billy Z, and was a guest, and it was awesome in Chicago.
I know who did that one. That was Pam Nelson pulled that off. The lady who pulled off the Walmart tour.
Yo, wow. So, and then Lisa says,
Hey,
I'm
Lisa.
watching another live, but I'm going to the beginning. So thanks.
Ooh, I love her.
I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of good information and some really, really insightful information, and just some really authentic information about Naleighna that she shared about her personal journey. So I think you're going to enjoy this. So thank y'all all for being here, and thank you, Naleighna. So I'm going to just say thank you, Naleighna. I'll be talking to you in just a second. But thank you so much for being so generous and sharing so much information with us. We love it. Sorry, I hit the button too fast. Sorry. So, but thank y'all for coming and being here. And so, if you enjoy, talks with authors, Naleighna recently spoke with Shay Baby, who does the Brown Book series. So, at the bottom of my page, I have on my page, I have other YouTube channels that I recommend. And the very first one is Shay Baby's Brown Book series. And so she talked to Kathy Douglas, who is also here. They just got through with that one. So that one was fresh tonight. Naleighna was last time. Then she talked to Sandra Kitt. Before that, she's talked to so many amazing authors. So if you enjoyed this kind of discussion, you definitely want to go check out Shay Baby's list of interviews. So, and I already told you about the ones that I have coming up in a few weeks, particularly the one in 2 weeks where I will be talking to the authors from Kamani Romance. We're all getting together, going to have a chat, so I'm looking forward to that so much. So as readers, if you want to know where your favorite Kamani authors are, or you want to reconnect with some of them, be sure to join us, bring your questions or whatever. And there's going to be a lot more of them and more chats and stuff that I have lined up and scheduled. So be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed today, and share it so other people can hear it as well. We appreciate you so much. And if you are new to me and you haven't read my Bourbon Brothers series, or maybe you've read like the last books and then haven't read the first ones, right now Savannah Secrets is on sale for $1.99 for the month of June. So I don't have a link to it anywhere. You can find it on Amazon. It's Savannah's Secrets by Reese Ryan. It's the book one in my Bourbon Brothers series. So that is available for $1.99. But thank y'all all so much for coming, for joining us, and for being so involved and engaged in the conversation. That makes it so much more fun. So I'll see y'all in 2 weeks for the conversation with the authors from Kamani. Everybody have a good night. Happy reading.